Hello YouTube, I'm back. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Casey and I make videos about so much chronic health issues mostly. I have functional neurological disorder, but I really like to share things that I've gone through with health and how I essentially am on my healing journey. Um, that includes so many aspects of life. So today's video, I am talking about interstitial cystitis. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. I have been having issues with my mic and my sound, so I'm trying real hard to talk as loud as possible. So I've already filmed this video twice, and I think the first time I wasn't actually filming, and then the second time I kept coughing because it's super dry in my place. So here we go. Third time's the charm. Okay, so I would like to share about interstitial cystitis, essentially what it is, my experience with it, and how I essentially healed it for the most part. I still do have a little bit of problems with it, but it is so much better. So, for you people who do not know, interstitial cystitis, or IC, which I'll just call it because it's easier to say, it also is called painful bladder syndrome. It essentially is when the bladder wall is irritated or inflamed. So, there is not a whole lot of understanding as to why this happens and how to cure it. But they do know that there's some sort of misconnection between the brain and the body. And the big thing that happens is that the bladder is sensing that the bladder essentially is full when it's not, and then a symptom can be that you have to pee a lot, and then just a lot of discomfort and bladder spasms. So this can range from mild or very painful, and for me, I have experienced it to be quite severe. Um, yeah, so there are a lot of triggers, but the main ones can be sex, sitting too long, menstruation, stress, and exercise. And this affects more women than men. Um, yeah, probably just because our urethra is shorter and women can be more prone to issues with their bladder and bladder infections. So I'm going to tell you my story with this. And yeah, so I have always had problems with my bladder, starting when I was a child. I was getting really bad bladder infections, super painful, to the point where I was peeing blood. But then after like 6 or 7 years old, it actually got better until I started having sex. And that is when my symptoms of IC started to pop up. My first kind of beginning relationships were the greatest. I did have issues with just kind of not the best sexual experiences, and that kind of created trauma in my body. And I started to essentially disconnect or dissociate from my lower half of my body from trauma. And I think that that essentially started my IC because yeah, they think that IC is a neurological issue. So yeah, anyways, it took me about 4 years after I'd started popping up, which was probably around 17 years old. So 4 years from there, I kept going to the doctor, and he just kept telling me that I was having bladder infections without really testing. And so I was given a lot of antibiotics, which is super harmful to the body if you don't have an infection. It destroys the flora in your stomach. And yeah, so I was having tons of stomach problems with that as well, and vomiting a lot. Um, I was also given something called pyridium, which was actually helpful. It was for bladder pain, but it was also really hard in the stomach. But it has like a dye in it that essentially coats your bladder and kind of relieves the pain. It makes you pee orange, but it has been discontinued, so I actually can't get that anymore. But apparently, it was causing cancer, so we don't want that anyways. So yeah, for 4 years, I was really struggling to understand what's going on. I felt really dismissed. It was really unfortunate. And then my doctor was out one day, so I got one of the on-call doctors, and he immediately was like, "Well, if you've been having problems, like, have you seen the kidney specialist?" And I was like, "No, I have not." So he referred me to the kidney specialist, which I am so grateful for, because that was like the really beginning of my healing journey for this. And when I saw the kidney specialist, he was like, okay, well, let's send you to the pelvic floor physiotherapist. So I am grateful kind of that I didn't have to do any sort of examinations with like a camera down there, because I don't know, invasive things are a little bit iffy for me. So I did go to the pelvic floor therapist, who essentially helped me so much. Warning, it is a very, yeah, I'm going to use the word invasive again. It is a very invasive process, which was really challenging for me. You do have to have kind of a examination. So I did get a vaginal examination, which was a little bit traumatizing. And she was a wonderful doctor, though, I will say that, or therapist. It was just really uncomfortable to have someone poking and prodding down there, especially within the vaginal wall. I was having a lot of discomfort and pain, so like sex was very painful as well. But she was able to really educate me on what interstitial cystitis was, and also about chronic pain. She gave me a book to read, and then helped me on my journey. So Kegels was a huge thing for me, because it helps the brain connect back to the body, essentially, when you're doing it really mindfully. So I was doing those exercises a lot, which helped me so much. So like, I highly recommend that if you're a woman and you're experiencing this, either see a pelvic floor specialist or just go online and look at Kegels and try it out, because it might help you. And then another thing was, yeah, just breathing, being very mindful when this pain came up, and how I can like sit with it and see if I can breathe through it, and bring some sort of mindfulness to it. And then also massaging the bladder wall with my fingers she was kind of saying that she thought the fascia around my bladder was really tight and was also causing a lot of irritation. So to loosen that up with just massaging with my hands. And then I also have, well, I don't have any more. I had a wand. It was a curved wand that was for internal vaginal massaging. So it was not a sex toy. It was just a wand. It can be used as a sex toy, but that helped to then massage the vaginal wall to also loosen up the fascia, which did help. I still do have like some sore spots in there, but yeah, it was extremely helpful. So yeah, when I started doing that, that was really, really amazing. Another thing that really helped me was to start drinking more water. And I know that it's like really challenging if you're having frequent urination. So I would say like definitely up it slowly, the amount of water that you're taking in, because you don't want to, irritate your bladder more. Another thing that we did was do a bladder diary. So I was tracking how often I was going to the bathroom, and it was a lot. And then essentially what we were doing is bladder training. So, how many times am I going to the bathroom? And then like, how long can I hold it for a little bit longer? You don't want to hold your pee naturally if you don't have an issue, because then you can get bladder infections. But if your bladder is not filling all the way, you need to train it to know like that it can hold more. So we did that. And again, that was really great. And then, alcohol and smoking. Alcohol is really bad for you in general, but it can be really irritating to the bladder, as well as like some foods and some other drinks as well. So it'd be just really good to kind of look through your diet and see how you can help yourself in that way, as well as, reducing your stress as much as possible. So I find that when I get stressed now, I do start to get bladder issues. So I need to remind myself, okay, my body is speaking to me. I need to slow down, calm down, and, take some mindful moments, or figure out what's stressing me out in my life and try to resolve that in some way. Yeah, and so the other thing is heating pads work amazing. If you haven't tried that, that has been something that has also been really great for me. And I still, like to this day, am quite attached to my heating pad or a hot water bottle. Even when I travel or go camping, I will bring a hot water bottle just in case, because when those spasms come on, whew, they are not good. So yeah, and then I do have an emergency anti-spasm medication called baclofen, I think it's called. I would say it's pretty intense. I've only taken it once, because I've been really trying to be careful with my pharmaceuticals. But it did help. So do ask your doctor for any sort of antispasmodics if you're really having a lot of pain and yeah, Advil's not helping, you know. I remember when it did start too, I would go to the ER in absolutely horrendous pain, and I have gotten, I think it's like a maybe it's anti-spasmic or muscle relaxant shot in my booty or you know in my thigh, and that has helped too. Um, yeah, I think like that is everything that I've done. Um, I also tried my best to prevent UTIs because, you know, once I get a UTI, my bladder seems to be really sensitive, and then I find that the symptoms kind of start to pop up again. I don't know that I'll ever be able to fully heal it, but I find that, you know, when my diet's right and I'm taking care of myself, I feel fine. I feel fabulous. So, you know, I think that's something that I've been learning with a lot of my health things is that when I take care of myself and my mental health is good, everything else is good. My body speaks to me. I am trying to listen to it, and I hope that you guys can too. Oh, goodness. Oh, this is my problem. It is like, I don't know if it's dusty in here, if it's just really dry. I do have carpets, which I've never really lived in carpets before. I do have asthma. When I was a child, we had carpets in my family house, and I actually had to take them all out because I was having really bad asthmatic issues. And I really hope that's not the issue. But I do have a heater thing that blows air that I'm not used to as well. So we'll see how that goes. But I've been coughing a lot. No, oh, one sec. I also have a cat, and I think I'm allergic to cats, but it seems to be fine if I'm not like touching them and touching my face. So we'll see. I don't know. I think maybe I'll try and get air humidifier purifier. Okay. Anyways, I hope that was helpful for you guys. If anybody else has like something like, to try that I haven't mentioned, please share it down below. Bladder issues are horrendous. I would never wish that upon anybody, obviously. And so I hope that maybe some of my things could be helpful to you. A little update for my lovely followers. I got some braids. They are amazing. They are green at the end. So it's like half cornrows and then half box braids in the back. Yeah, I'm really digging it. It took like 8 hours. But yeah, I love to just do little fun self-care things to, you know, help boost my mood. I've been doing quite well. I'm just feeling so grateful. It's almost spring now. The sun has been out a lot. I'm, you know, working on my physical levels. I am going to try to do a hike sometime soon. I have not hiked in like 2 years. I'm feeling good. But I don't think I have much more to share. I've just been trying to make this video a lot recently and it was not working. So I am so grateful that I was able to get it going. So thank you guys so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up. And for you people that would like to see more of me and, you know, come along on the healing journey of health and whatnot, give me a subscribe. Check out my other videos to see what I talk about. But thank you so much, guys. Love you.